Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Firepower Podcast. This is a podcast about the Firepower comic book series by Robert Kirkman and Chris Samnee. I'm your host, Bash, and I'm joined by my friends and my fellow hosts, Ali and Charlie. How are you guys doing today? Ready to talk some Firepower?
Absolutely. And this book has been on fire, especially the part where we're at right now. Helps keep us warm. I'm sure it's getting cold around where you guys are too. How about you, Charlie? How you been?
Yeah, no, this has been a stretch. Even the last couple we got into, we're killer. But yeah, I'm always ready to get into the series with you guys. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Just been studying for my last test. Hopefully for a while. But yeah, just nice to have a break and dig into these awesome issues with you guys. How are you doing, Bash?
Good, yeah. Good luck, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
And just good, excited to talk about Firepower. It's the holiday seasons. Just put up like some of my favorite holiday Christmas reads for DC and Marvel. Probably do one for the indies very shortly. So check that out. And yeah, let's get into Firepower. So for Firepower 22, we've got three variants. We've got obviously cover A, and then variant number 1 by David Finch and Dave McCaig. Just incredible talents. You might have seen them on The Walking Dead Deluxe or a million other books, but that's where they work together doing the covers. Sorry, Charlie pointed out this cover is awesome in particular because it has the blue flames instead of the other ones because they all have the normal flames. Yep. Did you guys pick this one up?
Yeah, this is actually I do have this one, and then I have the cover D one as well. And then I think next issue we'll talk about them next episode. But I think there's another Finch one there, and also another Kim Jong Lee or G cover. I think that's he has one this issue and next issue. So he has two there. He did the one of Doug. And yeah, it's killer. But that Haley one's got to be my favorite. One of the best. Always nice to see Finch on there too. He's great.
Yeah, I think I picked up most of the Finch covers. I definitely have this one and Kim covers too.
Yeah. The next one, or I think we can talk about the next one, but I was looking through the next issue is 23 Ling Zan. Do you guys know? There was one with
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure. So yeah, I'd love to see the Finch covers on there. But,
yeah. That Kim Young Ji, may he rest in peace. He passed away a couple years ago. He's a very talented guy. He's a really sad moment in the industry. But I was going to say,
his art's awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry. Woo. Yeah. Very, very. We just edit that out, guys. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Very talented. That's how we do in the Firepower show. Very talented artist. I think this is honestly, if not my favorite cover, like all four together, because he did them four as one big cover, and they broke them down into connecting parts. They're very low print because we have these guys. These guys are like, this is back when we had one or two covers for every Firepower issue. So a lot of these, they're deep into an indie series that weren't very high print. I ordered 2 of the entire set because A, I loved it. I wanted one for myself, and B, maybe one I'll sell or maybe one I'll just stash. But really cool, like gorgeous cover. Like if you haven't seen the whole image online, look it up. I've always said, like, when they do those Skybound Live expos or whatever the Skybound Vault things where they sell those stuff, I've always said they should have more Firepower stuff. If they could get the poster of that entire thing, that would be the dream.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, more shirts, anything back on there, we'll buy them for sure. But yeah, no, that was a cool cover. I was curious. Do you guys know what he draws with on here? Like, I don't know. Like, it looks like some crayons or something. Almost, it has a weird texture to it. But yeah, he just has a really unique style, and didn't know that. But yeah, I'm sad to hear he passed away.
Yeah. So, without further ado, let's get into the issue. For this issue, obviously, we've got a previously Master Shun. Well, actually, sorry, let's do the credits. We've got, of course, Robert Kirkman, creator and writer, Chris Samnee, creator and artist, Matt Wilson, colorist, Russ Wooten, letterer, and Amanda LaFranco, editor. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And what is it? Andres Juarez as the logo and production design. So previously, Master Shun decided to challenge Master Shaw himself. Although once he knew he'd be unable to win the battle on his own, decided to retreat and live to fight another day. Owen and Wei Lun departed the Scorched Earth clan to gather the remaining masters to their side, but found that the serpent had reached some of them first. So yeah, guys, it's pretty intense right now. It's like a Mission Impossible like scene, because everything that's happening is so tense. Every issue ends on a cliffhanger, and this one begins with the moment where we ended, obviously, with the master getting possessed right before. Yeah. So what do you guys think is going to happen?
Just real quick before that, what did you guys think of this cover? I was just kind of going back to it. The cover A, it has Master Shun leaping at Owen. They're kind of fighting. Were you guys anticipating a fight here, or like what? Like, was this just something that was put on the cover? Or I was confused about this cover, to be honest.
I get what you're saying. I think it's one of those situations where the cover has nothing to do with what happens in the book. Because I definitely thought like he got taken over by snakes or something, but he's just
okay. So
I think it's just for the cover. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good, cool cover, nonetheless. But yeah, no, this was awesome, Master Huang. First off, it was scary seeing a leader taken over. First off, and kind of the first question going through my head last issue and rereading through this was, does the host matter, or does the serpent, do they just take over and take full control, or can they use kind of some of these masters' skills? And it is answered a little here, that they are more powerful. I think the snake says this vessel's skill is considerable. That's what he says. So yeah, it's we see a really powerful vessel here, and we see an awesome fight. Takes two of them to take this guy on. But yeah, what would you guys think of Master Huang?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to this issue because, all the other masters are so cool. So at the very least, I figured even if he didn't have some really cool like technique or whatever, he'd have some cool characterization. And as we see, I mean, he's kind of brutal, but I do like that at the beginning, instead of going headfirst into a fight like we do in most issues of Firepower, I like that they actually attempt to to actually talk to him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Be like, what's your plan here? Like, look, we got you outnumbered. And the dude's just like, yo, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, he's going to die because, obviously the serpents got their fangs sunken into him. So he's under the influence. And we get an amazing page, the next page, where he leaps at both Wei Lun and Owen at the same time. And he's so quick, even though he's an old man, that he manages to dodge the firepower while also just like maneuvering Wei Lun well enough. So he's obviously pretty capable.
Yeah, I mean, 2v1, they're still struggling, right? They would have taken them a lot longer if Master Shah didn't come in and cut the snake with his sword right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like, these masters are definitely not messing around. You could tell how Owen got as good as he did by training with them back then.
Yeah, no, that's true. And yeah, no, just this fight. I think like maybe these last 4 issues in a row are definitely some of the most action packed. We get kind of a lot of setup going into our next arc here. This kind of has a little bit of a setup, but yeah, this fight was just was super sweet. And I love how they caught like the very Dragon Ball like instant transmission. They were just like dodging shit super fast, and it was great to see. There was one time where literally he shoots the fireball and he actually has like a smirk on his face, like Master Huang, as he's like dodging it by. Like that. Yeah, there are some pretty sweet moments in here.
Yeah, I do really like this issue in particular because, I mean, we can praise Chris Samnee every minute and every second of every issue, right? But I think one thing this issue does particularly well is show off Russ Wooten's lettering and Matt Wilson's coloring. And you can see the panel, like the way the panels transition, right? So let's look at like the page right after the page we just mentioned where they're dueling, close quarters. Obviously, Owen's trying to get some fireballs off, but the way that the movement's conveyed in each issue, like when you look at that one panel where you see Wei Lun yelling, and the way that the way that the penciling is kind of blurred at the, to show you that it's moving fast. And so the progressing is super smooth. And I want to say like the lettering is so subtle, but so impactful. And we've mentioned this in the last review, but look at like the foosh with the fire. And then that comes out when he's trying to like light up the flame. Yeah. Like you don't think about it a lot. Like it's so, like that's how you know it's fantastic. Like you don't notice it's there. You know what I mean? Like it just happens naturally. Like they're so masterful. Like you're not even thinking about it when you're reading it because it's perfect. Like you know what I mean? So
it's so seamless. You don't even think about it. You're right.
And then the next page is like the composition of the page, right? That shows you like one thing is it's like their perfect symbiosis because Chris Samnee's like he's putting it in a certain composition to emphasize the action and the quick pace of the action. Obviously, Matt Wilson's matching in coloring, but I think what's really amazing is Russ Wooten's matching in lettering. Like, look at how the lettering emphasizes the movement in every single panel. So, like, yeah, you have panel composition, but the lettering is incredible here. Like, it really adds a lot to the combat.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, I kind of pushing to this next page here. I want to go over that and get your guys' thoughts on this. Just you mentioning quick pace. So we talked about these last couple issues. For us personally, probably the most masterfully paced issues of the series. I don't know about you guys, but I honestly thought this was one of the worst paced issues of the entire series. I don't know. I think it was just these few pages here. I think for me, it was just the lack of. I don't get me wrong. Master Shun's intro here with the sword. You get the sword in here, and you get the fight in. But just the line here. So after this fight, so Master Shun comes in, he cuts the sword off Master Huang, and then Master who's this Pip or
I think Ping.
Yeah. And hey, look who I ran into at the airport and just found two masters and they just appear.
Oh, it's Ning. It's a Ning. What?
Ning? Or no, one of them's Ning. I think one of the new ones is Ning, or maybe they misspelled that. But Ping is.
Oh no, we have Ping, Ning.
Ping was definitely last.
Ping, Ning, Chao, Chan.
And I just found now Master Huang, like all these masters that we've even had a couple pages of. I actually get to know them. I've got to like know them at all. These masters, I don't know. Like, I just found it very quick, and maybe he just didn't have much to tell with these guys. But I just want to get you guys. Maybe it's just me. Like, what do you guys think?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that for sure.
I'm with you 100%. Combat is well paced, but like the
combat,
events,
the art was the actual events I found.
I find them like these are plot device masters. Like the masters that we met before, they're like actual like characters. These are like just plot devices to get up. Need to go, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it was just a little confusing.
I agree. Like,
and I think they tried to kind of justify it too by saying Wei Lun never thought to call them, right? Because that's how they found the other masters so quick, is because they just picked up the phone and called them. I think that's kind of their way of like.
Okay, that's also one thing. That's what I also didn't understand. So. Master Shun says to Wei Lun, "Were you traveling to each person individually? I only came to Master Huang, or Master Huang didn't respond to any of my calls. Did you try calling any of the others?" So is this saying that Wei Lun individually went to every single master and had a conversation with them in some random time of this story that we don't know?
No. Wei Lun only met a couple.
Okay. I'm just thinking, like, when did he have time to do that? Like, Buddy's been prepping to fight a dragon. Like was this now or was this prior to this story? This whole thing kind of, I don't know, confused me a little. He said, I do like the point. I love the point how it says like he didn't think about calling for help because he's been secluded on a mountain for so long. I do love that point, but I'm just kind of a little confused about how these guys got here.
Yeah, I think that's where they try to show that, like, despite them being like grounded human beings in some ways, they like miss the most obvious things because they live a different lifestyle. And I do agree that it's like an argument or some writing of convenience in this particular moment. But I guess like if it works in some ways.
So who called them? Like, do we know who?
I'm assuming it's one of the other masters, right?
Like
was it Pink?
Because it said Wei Lun, it made it seem like Wei Lun was traveling to each of these people individually, but then it seemed like they just came here super quick on a call in the plane.
That's true. Maybe Master Shun called them.
Maybe Master. To me, it seemed like someone else had to have, but yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, we also get some tension between Owen and Wavelin here. What'd you guys think of that? Kind of the first tension, like we've seen them clash a little bit, but this is kind of the first tension I think we've seen, really. What'd you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think it's like you can definitely see that Owen would have done things a little bit differently, and he's also like, there's part of it that's like, oh, because you always tell me not to question you, like this is what happened when I didn't question you this time.
Yeah,
I feel like that. So
there's definitely some friction there. I wonder now if it's foreshadowing to anything or it's just the progression of their relationship. But there's definitely something there.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, they finally defeat Master Huang with the help of the sword. That sword is definitely one of the coolest weapons in the issue. Always love, or in the series. Sorry, love whenever that pops up. But yeah, we just kind of we just see them kind of assembling this kind of super team here, and it's cool to see just him. Owen reunite with all his old masters, and we realize he's never actually met Master Huang before, but he's heard of his excellence. He's heard of his reputation. But yeah, it's cool seeing him kind of seeing this full circle moment for the start of the whole series, and just mentioning these teachers. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, you do get some moment of levity, which I think is well placed, considering everything that's just happened. Right after that scene where they all get to know each other again and they're reconvening, Waylon says that we got to go because the plane's waiting, and because Wong says like we should make haste towards the next battle. That's where one of the masters says, "Oh, and at some point I will request a demonstration of the firepower," and he says, "I can arrange that." And you see some ire and salt from Master, is it Ping at that point, who says, "Oh, I see how it is. I had to fight it out of you." And then Owen says, "You could have just asked." So love the way Chris draws him in that page. Very cheeky, you know.
That was great. And I don't know if we mentioned it last issue. I believe I did, but I some continued chemistry here between Wei Lun and Master Ping. So who knows? Maybe they'll live happily ever after in the future. We'll see.
Matchmaker
Charlie finally found his match.
Matchmaking master.
They got a good dynamic. They can bond over humiliating Owen. They can
bond over their lack of firepower.
Exactly. There you go. But yeah, again, kind of speaking to my point about like the quickness of the issue, directly actually is a kind of joke in the issue, but was the next page here. It flips and we see they're on the island fast. They get there, which I do like. That was okay. That didn't feel too fast.
But it's like when you think about it, though, it goes back to what you said earlier about how like this was an opportunity to further explore the characters, and they show us again that they're just plot devices, because instead
this
of
could have been another 6 issues easily.
Exactly. Even just a page, even if you just gave a page of having some dialogue between them on the flight, like that would have been good to flesh the characters out. But you could tell like he has no interest in doing that, and that's where, if I remember correctly, internally, because we are recording a few months after this released, of course, because we're late. But I do want to say that I think internally we were concerned about the length of the series at this point. Like we were concerned at whether they were just dragging it out and this was just going to be the final battle, whether there was more. Like this was where we were for the first time, like really concerned, because I feel like for once they're just padding, right? Like, or instead of padding, fast forwarding. So, yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I think they're definitely fast forwarding. Like but then again, is that something that Kirkman wanted to do, or is he just using them as plot devices, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if it was plot devices, you could have just went without. The first half of this issue and the last half of last issue.
I just don't know it, because it's not like Master Huang or like Shun has gotten some crazy character development. We've just gotten a couple pages to kind of know who they are, and now we love them as characters.
But Shun has the subtle moments. Like if you look a few pages ago, right? He shakes his hand.
That's
exactly.
All it really. You don't need.
He shakes his hand.
You don't.
You see, there's a history. Yeah, because you've read, like, you have the mind or head continuity, right? Where it's like you saw in the beginning, before the prelude, when Owen meets everybody, he says, "I've trained under all the best masters," and now you see them shake hands. So you're like, oh, one of those masters was Master Sean. Like they have history, and like that's why Owen's such a badass, because like this dude who like tried to fight the fucking Dragon Master, like and did really well, trained Owen as well, and it makes sense. So it's like that's good headcanon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So there's and then we get Master Chin, Cho, and Ning, which I don't know how many times their names are mentioned in here, but not nearly enough. But it's but I don't know. But no, it's I just wanted to say, going back, this page is gorgeous though. Just the colors on this page, like back here
when they get to the island.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous. Yeah, it really is. It's
I do like the page as well, like or the panel right under it where they're all walking, and he says we leave at dawn. When you look at them all, that's a really good like panel, because it shows you how they're all completely different characters. Like they, often comic books have issues. Yeah,
the other two have their faces blocked. You don't even see their faces.
It's clever. It's really clever composition on Chris's part. Saves himself some time and work. But I do want to say, like, that's a really good way to show that, like, like Invincible. It was excellent because all the characters had such unique identities, both like physically on the page and then through their characterizations. And in here, we have that as well, because all the masters look completely different. So it's easy to associate images to them. Whereas like sometimes when you're reading big 2 comics, a lot of the pages on the face look the same. So sometimes even though you know the characters, you can only tell them apart by costume.
These points, everything you're saying even escalates next issue. I know you see next issue, a lot of silhouettes and stuff, but you're totally right. You're totally spot on with that. But then we get Owen back, kind of just saying goodbye to Kelly, and also saying that she's not going to be able to come.
What?
What do you guys think of this?
I interpreted that last sentence a little bit differently, especially since it's all like sexy time set up right now. I just want to say that like if I were Owen right now, I would never be able to like get into sexy time without thinking there's a ninja watching. Like just given their life,
you gotta board all the way
on this island.
I was expecting Ling Zan to fucking pop out of
like a Pokemon out of some bush. You know what I mean?
She's always lurking.
But yeah, I do like I do really like these moments. I love that, like, one thing Kirkman's always been good at recently. I mean, even in the past with Invincible, but more so recently as well. I feel like as he's aged as well as a father and everything, is that he's really good at giving you the intimate like family moments. Like he really doesn't forget that, even amongst like the world ending like scenarios. Like he'll still give you those important moments. We saw that a lot in a good way in Oblivion Song. I think everyone here read Oblivion Song, correct?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So we all enjoyed that. And by the way, if you want to check out Oblivion Song, well, there's an amazing podcast by our Invisible podcast friends who also run that show. And then there's also the Compendium, which has the entire series in one trade. Like that's amazing. It's well priced and everything. So check that out. But yeah, like it's like Oblivion Song in the sense. So I do really like this moment. And like you guys said, the coloring is always it's just like showing off at this point in these pages. So yeah.
Dude, and I think I'm gonna be honest here. Me going through this issue, I was almost in like not a bad headspace, but I was just picking up kind of the rushing. Like I don't know. I wasn't jiving with it fully. And when I got to this page here, I was like, okay, we're gonna get another scene of that. Like we've seen this kind of a million times, but just reading through this here, I was like, damn, was I wrong? Like just getting to the, like, just hearing this dialogue, he's always so spot on. And just like Owen saying here, like just the point, like all I want to do is come back to a world and to a yard for good with all of you. And then the line that he says, like, you're doing this so there's a yard for all of us to return to. That's what Kelly says. Like that line was just killer. So yeah, Kirkman always spot on with those lines.
Yeah. I do agree with you. I don't like that it had to come out of a rush situation, but these are golden moments, and I think these age very well.
It definitely made me enjoy the issue more. Like once we got to this point, I started enjoying it a little more. Yeah.
I think they will age well. Like as you read the next, like if you get closer to the end of the series, this moment will be quite important.
It makes a lot more sense. But I think the best part about it is the juxtaposition when you flip the page and you see Doug's big ass face screaming. Yeah. No,
Kirkman loves to do that, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like the big face. Yeah, that's a Kirkman thing. So the garbage with the capital G, and that's where the parents are explaining the situation to the kids, and
Haley
lots
makes
of
a good point.
silhouette.
Haley makes a good point. I do have to say. She does.
You're taking the kid's side on this one?
I think I like. Okay, I'll say this. At this point, I was taking the kid's side. Next issue, when I see the battle and what they have to do, I'm like, okay, I'm glad they weren't here. I'm glad they weren't here for this. Like they were not holding their own in this situation. Right. But it does make sense. Like the firepower in this prophecy is the thing to destroy this dragon. You have 2 other people with it, and you're kind of just leaving them off to the side. I get Owen though. I totally get both sides here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it's a good moment, and I think these moments age well as well. Because a lot happens down the line that makes you look back and see how things developed over time. So I think these are key moments when you're rereading the series at some point in the future, but also obviously if it's your first read. And yeah, I do like this page. I'm like, obviously I think there's elements of both sides that are correct, but if I had to make a decision, I would say like they don't have the experience yet to fight the dragon, right? Like they're not, and given like, balance of probability kind of scenario, like they just got a huge spike in power, right, by getting all those masters. So, like, maybe they feel a little bit more confident about tackling the situation with some experience.
That's true. Yeah. That's actually a great point. And I just wanted to point out, actually, I love the reaction. Like, I thought it was just kind of a little, I don't know, not senseless, but when Owen says, you guys are the only thing that stands between this world or you're the only thing that stands between this world and that monster if I die. And that was like one of the last things he said to them. So I was like, that's a lot to process for sure. It's a crazy moment. They really just kind of, I don't know, realize the intensity of this whole situation. And it's a pretty heavy moment for sure.
Yeah, I do love the next page, and again, I feel like it's just Matt Wilson showing off even more because he's so good. Yeah. You get this gorgeous like island morning sunrise, and you see because they said they were going to fight at dawn. You see the page with them all, their Avengers like assemble moment basically. Yeah. Really cool. Again, we get to see a lot of the masters. We see Ling's on there. Right, I like how they're all like in the black and red outfits. They're really cool.
Except Wei Lun, man, he's not following.
He's not gonna change.
Only with his shoes, guys. Only with the shoes.
I guess Mr. Ping in the back there. He's still wearing that fancy suit over there.
Hey, listen. Notice you can't see any Jordans. Yeah, you can't see any Jordans in this panel.
I'm curious.
Like we gave up on Jordans or what?
Yeah, I feel like
I don't.
Speaking of giving up, did you guys know the RC Coda is done?
Wait, after which issue? This one?
This issue. There's no more. The last issue was the last RC Coda in the entire series.
Oh, wow. Yeah, roast office.
Yeah, so there's a roast office. There's no more RC Codas, and I thought it was hilarious. I went back to issue 21. I can't speak for 28 and 29. I haven't read those. But yeah, I went back to 21 and just hearing Samnee, he like Kirkman's like, oh, how's it going? And he's like, oh, just so ready for this RC Coda again. Like you could just tell how much he just hated this. But man, he does so much hard work on the book. So yeah, I'm okay. But yeah, it was sad.
Well,
kind of Nazi.
I hope they do one for the last issue just to wrap it all up.
Yeah, I do think this one feels like a longer issue, so maybe that's why we didn't get an RC Coda. And I
actually checked next issue. Issue. There's not one either. Right, so maybe it's just the next couple.
This does feel like a few pages longer than a normal issue.
That could be
because not much, but like
also when you open the page, like when you open the book, it has a full page splash for the credits. Like it's not like the typical one page and then previously on. So that could be.
I can forgive that this time because again it was a big issue. I do want to say this next page with because you see Dawn from the perspective of both sides, and on the island side it's a little bit more blue and gorgeous. On the Master Shaw side, he's literally sitting in the middle. He's like fucking Godzilla. He's sitting in the middle of the destruction with the slumbering great serpent right there. And as the dawn sun rises, so does he, and his eyes open, and you see just like a venom green and like right, like it's I don't know, it just gets you. It's really creepy. And then you see a gorgeous, just wow, splash page where he says they are more foolish than I thought, and that's where you see the great serpent launch into the air because they encounter the zeppelins, and he manages to just destroy them, like annihilate them. Well, obviously, before that, you have a strategic timing from Owen, who's saying wait, and it comes down to like a hair, because that's how close the dragon is when he says now, and that page with the explosion, that's insane. But I just want to say, as you guys were reading this for the first time, before you flip the next page, when you saw this explosion with the dragon, did you think like, oh, the dragon's done? Did you think like, oh, that's going to be bad? What did you think?
I definitely, I think that would have not been the best way for the dragon to go out. I think Owen, ultimately, I still want to see Owen take on the dragon. But I was surprised. It definitely, like, you can just see her squealing, like it did some damage for sure. Like it hurt the thing. But it was cool. Did they have, were both blimps were full, right? Or did they have one decoy? And
I think there were a couple of decoys that were just full of explosions.
Yeah, that's how I took it. But then I see some later next issue. I wasn't sure, so I guess they get some reinforcements as well. It's
we should use it. I just want to say that. I want to say we should have, if we like, like how some people who are like streamers and shit have like a photo for whenever people donate that just pops up as like a thing.
Yeah.
We should have that fucking image of Master Ping with like the thumbs up right there. That should be our image, right? It's such a good battle. It's such a good battle, man. Oh my god.
We're ready. Master Ping's always ready. And once they dive off the ship, I was definitely happy the kids didn't come, for sure. Just scary. At first, I'm like, they could have used the firepower, but I don't think they would have been too helpful in this situation. So, Again, I think that's like 3 issues in a row. They're teeing up a freaking epic fight for the cliffhanger. Yeah. So I'd love to see it. And can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. I definitely didn't think the dragon was done, though. I thought it was going to be a good fight next issue. Like you said, Kirkman loves leaving on his cliffhangers, which is great because it just makes me, want to read the next issue as soon as possible. But the dragon's definitely not done.
Yeah. What did you think?
Like you guys said, a little bit disappointed that there was no RC Coda for next issue. But in terms of the dragon, I felt like it was a distraction at best. It was like a momentary, it was just caught by surprise, but bought them a minute or two at best, right? Like that's a massive serpent, right? It's just like it's probably, and then they said before, like the firepower is the only thing that will defeat it. So, yeah.
And I will confirm the RC Coda is back in issue 26 at the earliest.
Okay.
So they do continue it at some point. Next issue there is not one. But maybe it was a lot of action-packed stuff. We know how busy Samnee is with this kind of stuff, so who knows what his schedule is like. But good to hear it's come back. Yeah.
So that cuts our episode a little bit shorter, ladies and gentlemen. We're sorry that there's no RC Coda for this one, but we'll obviously be on top of it next time it appears in one of the issues. We are, however, very excited to get to the next issue 23, soon. So, check out the Firepower Podcast. You can find us on social media at Firepower Podcast. Feel free to email us if you want to be, included in the show or have some comments. We'd love to, we love getting those. And, we'll see you next time. Stay roasty.